is what Joe Musashi would say to this game review of Shinobi Art of Vengeance. What's happening, my fellow Viking warriors and beautiful shield maidens? It's none other than yours truly back at it again with another video review of Shinobi Art of Vengeance. If you've seen any of my game reviews in the past, you all need to know that we are definitely going to break this review down into sections. So without further ado, here's section number 1. Gameplay. The gameplay of this game is one of the best satisfactory gameplays when it comes to 2D side-scrolling slash Metroidvanias. And I'm not just talking off the top of my head here. I've literally finished the game with all the levels 100% completed. You're Joe Musashi, a totally badass ninja that really doesn't speak throughout the game itself. All he does is grunt as his dialogue. Man, who the fuck does this guy think he is, Kratos?
Your father can teach you to hunt. Or perhaps that will fall to me as well, since all he seems to be good for is grunting.
Hence the reference at the start of this video. You have a fair amount of awesome upgrades, such as passives and based skills that you acquire through the entirety of 14 levels in the game. There are quite a few secrets to each level, so be sure to check thoroughly throughout every corner of each level. Whenever you're unsure how many secrets you've come across in each level, you can always pause the game and it shows you how many you've got and how many you're missing out. Almost all the levels have rifts in them. Now, these rifts can be either combat or traversal challenges as you come across them. Once you finish a rift, you get a Dark Katana fragment. Get all the Dark Katana fragments by finishing all the rifts in the game, and you get, well, the Dark Katana. This is achievable before reaching the final boss of the game. Now, this sword is supposedly doing more damage than your regular katana, but I really didn't feel like it had a major impact in terms of damage. I struggled within some of the rifts, therefore I was quite a little bit let down by the prize in question at the very end. I was expecting some new move set with this newfound katana, but alas, it was only a move set copy-pasted from your regular one. That being said, some of the levels also provide some lab keys, which are the most rarest items in the game you can get. Acquire all of them, which are a total of 6, and you can unlock a totally missable boss fight that I'll not go in any details as to not spoil anything. The enemies in the game are quite of the variety. You get your melee enemies as well as your ranged ones. There are some sections in the levels where you can feel overwhelmed by them, but not as much or as often. All in all, the game is based on skill level more than anything, so if you find yourself stuck in any part of the game and cannot progress, tough luck. You really have to get good to overcome some sections in the game. Now, initially, I thought this was a Metroidvania game, and it turned out I was only half right. What I mean by that is the fact that instead of just one big-ass map that you normally get in Metroidvania games here, in Shinobi Art of Vengeance is essentially the same thing with the added twist that is divided into levels. As mentioned previously, there are a total of 14 levels in memory serves, and each of them are quite unique in their own way. One cool thing to mention is that within each level there are checkpoints. These checkpoints also serve as fast traveling points. Why would you need to fast travel, you ask? Well, first off, the levels are quite huge. Secondly, you do get some traversal upgrades at certain levels that once obtained, you can go visit those levels that had some previously inaccessible areas due to the fact that you didn't possess the traversal upgrade in question at the time. Simple concept. Get traversal upgrade, visit previously inaccessible area to loot out the goodies in that area. Also worthwhile mentioning is the fact that you get shops throughout the levels. In these shops you unlock various upgrades, some better than others such as kunai expansions or health upgrades. Also, you can expand your arsenal by buying new moves from shops to keep that combat flow going. Once you finish the game, you still can replay every level in arcade mode. Now, what this does is resetting all the levels apart from your acquired upgrades with the bosses so you can have a go at them in record time. This is mainly for your typical avid completionists out there that wants a challenge after completing the game. You also get the boss rush stage, which is exactly what you're thinking, fighting all the bosses in the game in one go. Think you're up to the challenge? Let me know in the comment section down below if you've beaten Boss Rush yet or planning to challenge it. Now, dying in this game is just a frustration of fighting that boss battle or going through each and every enemy all over again. Other than that, no penalty. I mean, you could die in this game like 1,000 times and there would literally be no noticeable penalty to it. All in all, I'd rate the gameplay an 8.8 out of 10. The sword swinging and all the upgrades acquired is what sets the game apart from other genres. Once you get through half of the upgrades, it's a total game changer. Huge bummer for me was the Dark Katana once I've had it, and obviously the no significant penalty if you die has the 8.8 out of 10 rating. Now moving on to section number 2, the difficulty. The difficulty in this game, as mentioned previously, is fair to say the least. It's actually more than fair since there is no death penalty. There are a few group of enemies here and there that gave me a run for my money, but the most challenging part about this game, I would say it was the rifts. Other than that, pretty much I had absolutely no frustration with the game. Sure, there was this in between level segment where Joe goes on top of a rocket, ski jet, or whatever. That basically I was getting really frustrated at one point, only because I was trying to complete the level without the dash ability. Not that I didn't want to use it, it was just. And I'm totally really embarrassed to say this, I forgot it actually existed. But that was solely on me. Once I remember it existed, frustration scattered away like that wet dream you have when you wake up. So the difficulty of the game for me, nothing special, but nothing bad either. It only goes to show that a solid 8 out of 10 is in order in terms of rating the difficulty of the game. I think that's a reasonable rating for it. Graphics wise, are nothing special for a 2025 side scroller. I would have expected something a little bit better, but hey, I guess the devs of the game wanted every fan to have that nostalgia feeling to it. The first Shinobi game, I think, released in 1987. I'm not saying that right now that the graphics are from way back then, but I guess the vibes still remain from that time, hence the fact that they didn't want to go all out with the graphics in this game. Don't get me wrong, the graphics are nice, but I was expecting something a little bit better for my taste for a 2025 side-scroller game. Graphics-wise, I would rate it a solid 7. Now moving to the next section, the fourth one, sound and music. The sound and music of the game are decent, nothing to get hyped about and nothing to be let down by. It is a mixed feeling from my part, to say the least. I'm trying to think off the top of my head here if there was a special moment, but I think apart from the music and the boss battles, nothing springs to mind. There were some pretty hyped up music boss battles, to be honest, and all the more they've added to the adrenaline rush of the freaking badass ninja that is Joe Musashi. Sound slash music for this game, 8.2 out of 10 rating. Now moving to section number 5, the story. Trying really hard here to keep the story rating of the game at a minimal spoiler. But hey, if at any point I'm about to give some spoilers, I'll be sure to let you know that a spoiler is about to come through, so you can skip ahead. This goes all out for those story enthusiasts out there. You start off at your village, living that peaceful life along with your wife, son, and students, because you're a master shinobi now and you have students to teach. That's what the awesomeness is of Joe Musashi. You then have a visit by this evil dude called Ruse, which turns the majority of your village into stone. and now you're hell-bent on vengeance. The game is called The Art of Vengeance after all, and you go after that ruse guy to spill his guts out. Along the way, you find some really interesting allies, of one which is basically to die for. It took me a total of 15 hours to get all the levels to 100% completion. Nothing too great, nothing too poor, just in between for me. So, with great indulgence and responsibility, I rate the story of the game at a solid 7 out of 10. The overall rating of the game with all the previous ratings combined, 7.8. Nothing more, nothing less. Should you go and purchase this game for $25? I think it's worth it. But then again, I got lucky and I was able to get it at a discount of $20. My advice, 70%. Wait for a discount. Well, 30%. Should that discount never come through, or if you missed it altogether and really cannot wait for another discount to pop on the game itself again, just get the game for the actual $25. Let's face it, nobody will get rich if you save $5. It's really a cool little fun game to play if you're actually bored and don't have anything else to play that you are hyped about. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, as always, gratitude is in order for watching. Always remember to uphold the honor of the samurai, the courage of the Spartans, and the relentlessness of the Vikings. I'll see you, my fellow Vikings, on the next one. Peace out.